Good morning, everyone, and I'd like to welcome you all to our live webinar session this morning on paperless inductions and food safety made easy for a flexible workforce. My name is Anne-Marie Doohan, and I will be taking you through this session today. Should take no more than 40 minutes to get through this session, and just the loose agenda for today is we're just going to look at the Nvolve group at a glance, who we are, who we're working with, and how we're helping our recruitment clients. We're then going to delve into the nitty-gritty of the site-specific induction training and the food safety, and how we can make this paperless and manual and make your job a little easier. We're going to have a wee look at the common challenges that our recruitment clients face on a day-to-day basis, and then we're going to have a wee look at our solution and how we're helping them. We're going to then give a live demonstration of our technology, and then at the end we're going to have a live questions and answers session as well. So we'll see how we get on with time on that. Little housekeeping for today. You can just see the control panel, and I've actually inputted the presentation that I'm taking you through today, so you can download that from the control panel and the handout sections. If you have any questions throughout the session, you can add them into the question sections just on the bottom of the control panel there as well. So just to make a start, the Nvolve group and who we are. Suppose we're operational now for over 12 years, and we provide our clients with training, compliance and risk management solutions primarily within the recruitment, food, manufacturing industry. Our core ethos as a company is helping our clients to reduce the risk, reduce the cost, and to ultimately reduce the amount of paper that goes hand in hand with all the processes involved in your day-to-day training activity. Our solution allows you to prove compliance at the click of a button, and also allows you to have an audit trail of all the training completed, which allows you to ensure transparency throughout the branch. And again, it's all about ensuring that company or branch-wide compliance and consistency, so that you're always in a position to provide high-quality candidates that ultimately allows you to be audit ready and impress your customers and give them that high-level information of the training completion records that they place upon you to deliver. Just a selection of some of the recruitment companies that we currently work with. We have single branch users for the likes of Recruit. We also have multi-site users for the likes of Staffforce, Assist in the GI group. And again, with the multi-site, it ensures consistency and accuracy, that all the branches are completing the same processes, and it streamlines the whole training and compliance process within their sites. We also work with a lot of food companies, food manufacturing type enterprises as well. In some instances, we would actually have the food site and the same site under the umbrella of the agency provider that they partnered with. And I suppose the key benefit in this scenario is the sharing of information, where they can share the training records, be it their inductions or their food safety and health and safety courses. The ideal scenario, if the agency worker becomes a permanent member of staff with the company, you can then easily transfer the training records for the likes of your CIH Food Safety Level 2 or Inductions in Health and Safety. That can easily be done. And this also is a very good sign that the candidate becomes a permanent member of staff, because that further validates the high level of candidates supplied by the agency. So that's just some of our food clients. You can see some well-known companies there, like Moy Park, Dairy Crest. We're also working with Sundown Foods and Fontana in the States as well. And then we have other non-food clients as well, which would be your general manufacturing, medical devices, pharmaceutical companies, and financial services organisations as well, the likes of Friends First. And again, a lot of these companies would use a response point technology because you can create your own bespoke content. That solution tends to be very favourable to them. We're just now going to have a look at the current compliance training manual processes that a lot of our clients would have used prior to the implementation of our group learner and response point technology. So it's always all around the mountain of paperwork, the multiple systems that don't talk to one another. Can be very difficult to get that reporting information out. We've worked with some companies that may have a third-party e-learning provider. They then do their own inductions in-house. So again, trying to get all that information together. I've been on site at some of the branches as well, and you do your induction training in the morning, which takes maybe 3 or 4 hours. All the paperwork that goes hand in hand with that, with correcting the paper-based assessments and getting the certificates generated and all of that. In the evening then you're looking at, you could be doing your induction training, and again that could take 3 or 4 hours in the evening, and again trying to get the information on that as well. With our solution, you get the scores and the certificates in real time. It's all done automatically within the platform, which I'm going to give you a sneak preview of today as well. And it's all about that compliance training matrix and how do we get that into one format. As I mentioned earlier, we've been working with a lot of recruitment companies for a long time, and this is the feedback that tends to that we get over and over again. You can see the paper-based assessments are time-consuming and expensive to deliver, paper overload. More and more people now are looking for ways to automate and streamline the training process, and it's all about moving paper and manual processes online. Essentially, we have training records in multiple locations. You're being pushed more and more by your clients to deliver their induction training courses and assessments on their behalf. Again, there's more demands that are placed upon them in terms of the training modules that are now required by the temporary agency provider. We need to be constantly adding value and offering unique selling points to our customers to be their first choice partner every time. So to ensure that that you remain as their client, again, you have to ensure that you're always providing the highest quality candidates. And we can't run simple reports showing training completions. The clients are looking for real-time scores because they obviously wanted to have the candidates immediately once the actual role is ascertained. What we find as well is that the agency provider would actually create the likes of better inductions than the actual, say, food client would themselves, and that's feedback we actually get from the client themselves. And what we find here also is we would actually get a lot of expressions of interest in our technology, because a recruitment client has pitched for new business and they've actually found out that our technology has been pitched in the same contract. So we would get a lot of expressions of interest that way as well. So our solution today that we're going to have a look at is our Group Learner blended learning training solution, and also our Respawn Point technology, where you can actually create your own bespoke training content. So again, our Group Learner type enterprise it's all around your blended learning solution, where you can create all of your where you can run all of your courses via group using handheld keypads. It's quite similar to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Ask the Audience, where you can train 15, 30 people at the one time. You can also use the e-learning route, where an individual sits at a PC or laptop to run the course. And also, if you have a tablet device, you can also run the course from the tablet device as well. The content is exactly the same, regardless of which delivery mechanism you choose to select. And then our Respawn Point technology is where you can create your own site-specific inductions, your onboarding, your Stronger Together assessments, and anything basically that you're running via PowerPoint. You can turn that into your own interactive and engaging sessions. We would have some clients who'd also use it for employee surveys and quizzes. And again, the ability to increase knowledge retention, because the facilitator actually has real-time feedback in terms of the understanding of the group, which I'll give you a demo of further on in this session. And again, what the blended learning approach, it complements all learning styles on that as well. So with the Group Learner solution, you have 25 courses that are all ready to go, that you can run via the Group Learner player, which I'm going to give you a wee demo of today as well. We have a level 3 supervising food safety course, which is proving very fruitful with a lot of our recruitment companies as well, where they actually get their branch managers and account managers to run the level 3 as well. So you can see there we have all your food safety, health and safety, we fire safety courses. All of these are available via the group keypad delivery, via e-learning, and via tablet delivery as well. As much as I would love to show you all aspects of the platform today, we're just under time limit, so I've selected 5 items that I'm going to show you today in the live demonstration. The first one is creating the Respawn Point assessments, and again, this is where you create your inductions and your onboarding and anything really that you're currently using PowerPoint for. You can turn that into your own interactive and engaging session. I'm going to show you where to run the Group Learner, the off-the-shelf courses. Then I'm going to jump into the compliance platform, which is the heart of the information, where all of your training records, your certificates, and all of the reporting mechanisms are available. I'm going to jump into show you some of the reporting features available on there, and I'm going to also show you the screenshots of the tablet device. I obviously can't show you a live demo of it, so I'm taking some screenshots to show you as well. So I am just going to jump in now to just an induction course that I created earlier. And you can just see here, it's just your normal slides, but you can see there is a respawn point add-in tool. So that's just a piece of software that you would download, and that's actually how it appears then up on your screen. If you can use PowerPoint, it's pretty much the same. It's very user-friendly, and it's all really you're doing is inserting the assessment type question slides into the presentation. So you can just see it's your normal slides. I have a receiver plugged into my machine. It's just a small white device that actually picks up all the responses that the trainees give. So this is your group session. So if you can visualize that you have 15, 30 people in the room and you're doing your induction type slides. If I just scroll down here, I can immediately see just from the graph that this is a respawn point type slide. If I go and do an update slide. So again, you would just have to type in the question and then the possible answers. Again, you can color code these all as well, green being the correct answer. Does this question have a correct answer in this scenario? It does. Perhaps maybe if you just want to have a few refresher questions throughout, you would say no to that option. But in this case, we say this question does have a correct answer. And then you just do update slide. The common format that the induction type courses or your Stronger Together is that it would have refresher type question slides throughout, and then it would have the final assessment slides then at the end. So what you do then before each session, I'm just going to scan to ensure that the wee receiver that I plugged into the USB port on the laptop has been picked up. I have two keypads in front of me, and I'm just going to click on Start Testing. It's recommended that all the keypads are tested before each session, and again it puts the trainer or facilitator's mind at ease, knowing that they're all logged in and given the correct response. So then I can do Stop Testing. Close, and then all you do then is you just go into your slideshow mode. I'll just do from current slide, and then again you just press the spacebar to move on to the next slide. So in this scenario now, immediately you can see that this is a assessment type slide where it has your answer and the possible the question and the answers. You can see the grid at the bottom, which is 1 to 10, and again, you have control of that again, depending on how many people you have in the group. I'm just going to press keypad number 2 on keypad number 3, and keypad number 2, keypad number 5. So you can see the blue grid at the bottom, which signifies the training is answered. So if you are the trainer in that scenario, you then just press the space bar. And I can immediately then see that 100% have got option 2 correct. But again, I've color coded it to be green, so I know that that is a correct answer. Should perhaps 90% maybe have gotten that question wrong, you as a trainer or facilitator might want to go over certain aspects of that content again to engage their understanding, to see what they hadn't fully understood about the previous content. So again, you're getting that real life feedback in terms of the understanding of the trainees as well. So you then again you run through all of those assessment type questions, and again they're answering them quite similar to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Ask the Audience type scenario. Once you then come to the final slide, you will then go back into your respawn point, and what you'll do is you will save the data file, and what that does is it saves the all the responses that the trainees have given during the session. And just give site-specific induction, and You can give it a date, so it's a .mdx file, and that's what we call the data file, and that's what you upload into the online platform to actually get the scores and the certificates. The second file then that you need when you do the upload, and what I'm going to show you later, is the class list. So again, it's mapping the trainee to the keypad number. So again, you can just type that and then you have your date of birth. So again, you just save that like you normally would your normal Word or Excel type document. And again, it's important to map the keypad number to the correct trainee. And then the third file then that you need is a PDF of the attendance sheet. And again, it's exactly the same as the electronic version of the class list, only for it has the actual trainee signature captured on that, which is for validation purposes to ensure that Anne-Marie did in fact have keypad number 1 on that as well. So again, the Respond Point technology, if you can use PowerPoint, it's just an additional add-in tool. You have all your different settings options, whether you want to have the pie chart or vertical bar. Again, you might have 20 people in the group, and you can change that grid at the bottom, and you have your color codes again. So you have all those different setting options as well. But the most important thing is again that you scan for the receiver and that you test the keypads as well. So that's a little flavour in terms of Respond Point, and again how easily it is to create your own site-specific training courses, and the only criteria really required is that the question is multiple choice due to the delivery mechanism of the keypad. So that is our Respond Point. The next thing I want to show you is the Group Learner Player, and that's where you're going to run. It's not going to save that. It's where you run all of our off-the-shelf CIH food safety, health and safety courses. So again, you would download the software. So I can just see here I have the Group Learner Player, and it's pretty much like your video media player. And this is where you're going to run all the courses. Again, if you can visualize, you're going to have 50, 30, 50 people, again, depending on the size of your training room. It follows the same concept as Respond Point, where again, you have to scan for the receiver, test the keypads. Again, I had keypad number 5, I've given it response 2, and I have keypad number 3, and I've given it response 2 as well. So I can stop testing. Again, you have the different course settings and there as well that you have control over. And what I'm going to do now is just immediately jump into one of the courses. So we're going to have a look at the level 2 food safety for manufacturing. And I'm just going to open that up. And you can just see the front screen there is just a registration agreement, and by signing this attendance sheet for this course, you're hereby agreeing to the terms and conditions of this course. And you can see the format of this course. There's 9 modules in total. The level 2 food safety takes on average 2.5 hours to complete, and then you have your final assessment there at the end. Within each of the modules as well, there are refresher type questions, and again, that's to get the trainees used to using the keypads, and also giving the trainer or facilitator real-time access of the understanding of the group, with a view when they get to the final assessment again that the pass rates and that their knowledge has somewhat increased, and increases the pass rates on that as well. So again, you can easily navigate through this course and go to the module 7. Again, you could go to module 7, take a break, and then you can do run from module. So from module 7, and it just brings up module 7. I can hear the voiceover on the screen, so it's quite similar to your normal e-learning type course. You can see the objectives of this course. You can just see the dates on the foot label. So again, just to move on to the next slide, you just press the spacebar. And again, to actually run the group delivery of the courses, you do need to have a trailer and facilitator to deliver this. And traceability. So you can just see in this, as with the Respond by Type course, you have your question and your possible answer. So this is where you then get the trainees to answer keyword number 1 or 2. So in this scenario, you can see keyword number 3 is answered and keyword number 5. And then I press the spacebar, and you can see the green tick signifies that 50% have got the answer correct. So maybe in that scenario, you might want to go over certain aspects of that, the content of that course again. So again, it follows the same format where you have your course and then you have the final assessment at the end. On that again, I'll just open that up again. And then if you go then to the final assessment, the final assessment has to actually be run concurrently, whereas with the other modules, so again you have your question slides, and this is where the trainees then would use the keypad. So I can see keypad number 3 and keypad number 5 and answered. So then you know that you can then move on to the next slide, and you can see again keypad number 4 was correct. And 0% got it correct. So in this scenario, you would definitely go over certain aspects of that again. So all of the group learner off the shelf, be it your manual handling, your COSH, your food safety, are all run in that manner. You can also run our course via e-learning. So if somebody doesn't do the group session, you can then give them e-learning access. And also, if you have a tablet device, you can bring down the course on the tablet. If you have a new starter, for example, you can give them the tablet. So the content is exactly the same regardless of what delivery mechanism that you choose to select. So it's that giving you that blended approach that can suit your requirements as well. So on this as well, so you would then save the data file, which we done. So in the Inductions type course, you then also you can create a new class list, and again it's mapping the keypad number to the trainee, and if they're already on the platform, on the online portal, you can actually bring down the trainee, and that automates that information. Or if it's a new candidate, you can just easily type the question in on that as well. So again, it's 3 files for each training session. So it's your data file, your electronic version of your class list, and also the PDF of the attendance sheet. And I'm just going to close the group learner player. And this was just one of the files that I had uploaded earlier. So you can just see it's a .mdx, and that's the data file, which is saving all the responses that the trainees have given our candidates during the training session. There's the electronic version of the class list, and then there's the PDF, which is exactly the same as the electronic version, only it has the trainee's signature on it. And again, it's just to ensure that the keypad number corresponds with the correct trainee. On that as well. So again, very user friendly, the group learner player. and it automates and creates that paperless training solution for you, where everything is done automatically within the portal. So I am just going to log out. So I'm just going to log back in. So again, the login is login.grouplearner.com, and it's a cloud-based solution, so it's accessible via any internet-enabled machine. I'm going to log in here, and I'll go to the demo accounts. So again, if it's one branch that you're logging in, you'll just go to the when you log in, you'll only see the one view. Whereas if you have multiple sites, when you log in, you'll actually have a global view of all of the branches as well, and you can log in to any of those. So you can just see here the dashboard when you log in. Again, gives a quick bird's eye view in terms of the, you can see the total pass rate. I can see on this particular site it's 85%. I can see the monthly usage. I can see June was very high on this branch. I can see individual course pass rates or ESOL listing and numeracy assessment. 50% have completed. Pass rate of 100, and I can see individual course licenses. So I can see the level 3 supervising, there's only 4 licenses remaining, so it might prompt you that you may, again depending on your training requirement, that you may need to order more licenses. So I'm going to go directly to the Group Learner Respawn Point upload, and the 3 files that I've talked about in the induction course, and also when I've done the food safety level 2, this is where you actually go to do the upload. If it's a Respawn Point type, you just select, so I have the file saved on my machine, so it's the data file that you're uploading. You select your class list, which is the electronic version, and then you select your PDF attendance sheet. Sort of here, and then again we can say this took 2.5 hours to complete. Again, depending on the group that you have, it may take longer. And what that does, it tracks the training time that can be pulled off for reporting features. Again, you then just click on the upload course files, and then that actually gives you a pop-up to say that the training files, to give you the candidates and the scores that they have gotten. This is one that I had uploaded earlier. And you can just see it was uploaded by Anne-Marie Duhan, the course name, the date and the time, and you can just see the candidates, the score, and whether they have passed or failed. The certificate is attached to your email as well, that you can send on to the client if that is the information that they require. I can see that Roberto's has done CIH food safety for manufacturing. And he's passed. That information there is automatically saved as well within the portal. So if you lose a certificate for any reason, it's available within the portal. It can be pulled off at any time. If it's a Respawn Point type course that you're running, the only difference is that you just click on the please select your Respawn Point type course, and you can see then which one that it refers to. Was it your site specific for antigen? And each of those courses have you set the actual pass rate and whether there's an expiry on those courses as well. And it's the same. You select your assessment data file, you select your class list, and select your PDF. So at the click of a button, you have the scores of the candidates and all of the certificates are captured, and they're saved then within this online platform, and you can pull off as and when you need them. You can see previous uploads that have been done. So the Group Learner Player, you've done the food safety level 2, you've done the new employee site inductions. There's ESOL, which is the English for speakers of other languages. A lot of our recruitment companies would use that as a shortlisting tool. As well, and you can then see all of the different uploads that have been done on the portal. So I'm going to jump into the employee training plans. So this is where all of the candidate training information is going to be stored. So I can see there's a Stephen Allen here, and I can go in to show the details of Stephen Allen. You can upload a photo of the candidate, so you have all his personal information. Again, you can put in whether it maybe be your branch information. Again, it's your site specific, so it's specific to your branch. You can see here as well, I have given Stephen e-learning access, so in this instance he has to have an email address and a password. So when Stephen, this is obviously an admin view, but when Stephen logs in, all he sees is his own information, and he only has access then to the courses that have been assigned to him. He can launch the course then when he logs in and complete that via e-learning as well. So I click on the Manage Training Plan. At a glance, I can immediately see all of the training modules that have been completed and not completed. I can see that he's done the new employee site induction. I can delve in deeper on this, and I can see it was group delivery of the courses, and I can see he's used keypad number 1 has got a score of 100%, and it captures all of the questions and answers. And the same with the level 2 food safety completed via Group Learner. And again, you can see what keypad number and the questions and answers. As I mentioned earlier, you can pull up the certificate of Stephen Allen, and you can also view the signature, which was the PDF that I had uploaded earlier, which was again mapping that Stephen had keypad number 1. And you can see his signature on that as well. So if you had any queries over that, you can pull off all that information. So again, it's automating that whole process. And at a glance, you can see all of that training information. And again, by uploading those 3 files, all that information is saved for you. So there's no extra work involved in that as well. So again, that's the training plans and all of the training information. The next item that I'm going to go into is our training reports. Again, you can do your individual employee. So with Stephen Allen, you can click on the show report, and it gives you a full bird's eye view of Stephen, and you can see what he's completed and not completed. You can also go to your group learner course reports. I can see we CIH Food Safety Level 2, 39 completed, 8. Again, the click of a button, you get all of that information as well on the completions and not completed. The other reports that a lot of recruitment companies would get is the course completion reports. So again, you can put that in by a date. So if I do from December 2015 to date, and you can show details, so you can actually see all of the training and the training duration of that as well. And at the click of a button, you can pull off those reports very easily. The other report that would be used a lot would be the ESOL course report, and again, that's the literacy, reading and numeracy assessment that a lot of the recruitment companies would use as a shortlisting tool. but they would also use it should a client say they have a particular job role that they want filled. So say it was a machine operator, and in the ESOL assessment, the highest score that you can get is an L1. So if I just typed in the L1 and I can do journal reports, so what that should do then, it should pull all of the candidates that within that remit of getting the highest score. So I have a list of these candidates that I can actually provide to the client that actually fits within the job role that they need filled. So that is available on that as well. So that is again the reporting, very, very fast, and again high level information that you can pull off at the click of a button. The final bit that I'm going to go into now is the actual tablet delivery of the courses. Slide. So again, any tablet device you can bring down the app onto your machine, and you can just see here it's a home screen. You have your training plan, your manager reports, your training courses, and your work group reports. And what this does is it complements the online portal, and the likes, if you had a new starter, you could take a photo and add them using the tablet device as well. So you can log in here and you can see all of your trainees. You can see, again, you can log in and you can actually see the training record, and you can, if the course has been assigned to them, you log into the trainee and then the actual course pops up on the screen. Then you pass the tablet then over to the candidate, and then they complete the course on the tablet device. So again, the content is exactly the same as I showed you earlier within the Group Learner player. And again, once they've completed that course, again, all that information then and the certificates is all saved on that as well. So that's a very brief overview of our paperless solution, our Group Learner and our Respawn Point type technologies, and how we're working currently with a lot of our recruitment companies to automate and streamline a lot of their training and compliance processes. So the last, just look at the time here, so I'm just going to fly through some of these questions here today. So we have Claire, and she has asked, what the CIH courses, does the learner get the CIH certificate, or is it just an attendance sheet? Claire, I don't know if you've seen, I'm just going to pop out here, you actually seen the certificate that I had. I'll just pull this off. So you can, this is Food Safety Level 2 that Roberto's, and you can just see that it has a CIH certificate on it. So it is an endorsed and approved CIH certificate. With the Respawn Point type courses, you get the similar template, but it would just, without the CIH on that as well. So it would have your inductions or your onboarding or your stronger together on that as well. So I hope that answered your question, Claire. I have Sean, how much is your cost training and your level 3 supervised food safety? Sean, the cost training is actually, it's £10 per candidate, and that includes the course. The final assessment, e-learning, that is the only cost to you. If you wanted the group delivery of it, you'd be obviously looking at the once-off fee of your 10 keypad kit, which includes the keypads, the receiver, and the carry case, and that's $695. And then you just pay for the courses, the cost training at £10. The CIH level 3 supervising it's a much larger course. It takes 5 to 6 hours to complete, and it's £150 per candidate, and again includes the course and the final assessment. Paul has asked, is there packages available just to run your own bespoke courses? Paul, yes, I hope I've demonstrated that today. We do have packages available just to create your own bespoke courses, and that will be by way of our response point technology. So anything really that you're currently delivering via PowerPoint, you can use that package. And again, you'll be just looking at your once-off fee for the keypads, and then there's also for the response point technology, you're looking at $395 per machine PC per annum on that. Heather, can you send me the price list for the courses and the presentation? Heather, yes, I will indeed, and I can send it on to all of you as well. This session today is also recorded, so if any of your colleagues haven't had a chance to sit in, I can forward that on to you as well. And I'm just going to take one more question, and it's Percy. Is the reporting option available for all accounts? Yes, Percy. The package that I've shown you today is the Group Learner Courses Only edition, and that is available for all accounts. So that. I can just see a few more questions. I'm just not going to get them to today, but what I will do is questions that I haven't answered, I am going to get back to all of you individually. You can request the recording from me as well today, as it has been scheduled. The actual PowerPoint slides are available within the portal. I've uploaded it earlier. So I suppose without further ado, I'd like to thank you all for sitting in on the session today. I hope you got something from it. And as I mentioned, if I haven't got to your question, I will get back to you individually. You can keep an eye on some of our up-and-coming webinars on our website as well, and I'll just leave my contact details on the screen for a few minutes as well. You have my email and my telephone number, and any questions and queries from the session today, do let me know. And I'd like again thank you for your time today, and take care and God bless until next time.